Otherwise, you could always go through and put rhinestones all over the top, if you want to be extra. Depends how much you hate yourself. The jacket, the asymmetrical jacket, because that's fun. G'day everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of Breakdown Wednesday, where I take photos or pictures of cosplay designs or images and I break down how I would make them. And then at the end of the video, we discuss whether or not I would do these cosplays for fear that they may break me down. And of course, these have been suggested by my followers on Instagram, and you can always put your requests in the comments below. And today we are going to be looking at another Sunset Dragon design. And we are particularly looking at Enid and Wednesday. So since yesterday, for me at least, when this is coming out, was Halloween, I thought that, you know what, we'll just extend it by a couple of hours, shall we? So let's get cracking on these ones, and I thought it'd be fun to do both of them because they are, you know, best friends, they're best mates, and they do need to be, I think, shown together. And they're a fantastic example of like an easy versus a more difficult cosplay that is from the same kind of series by the same artist. So let's start with the easy one, which is Enid. So Enid is gorgeous, and I love Enid as a character. I think she offsets Wednesday beautifully, and I love their friendship in this show. So let's talk about Enid. Very firstly, let's talk about the wig. So this is going to probably be a lace front wig that you're going to get, nice and short, and then just having those pink tips at the end. So let's go lace front. Oh, I'm just wondering if you can see that. Sorry if you can't. So lace front, and we have it in the blonde. So we're going to do in blonde. Okay. And of course we have the pink tips. Okay. This is easy enough to do, guys. So doing a bit of an ombre dye on wigs, not too difficult. All you need to do is cut it to the length that you need. And then I find the best way that I've done it in the past is literally get your wig and dunk it into a pot of boiling water with the dye in there, and you need to use synthetic dye because it's a plastic. And you will find that it will take dye quite quickly. So do a few testers beforehand with some maybe, you know, excess hair that you've cut off. But it's not too difficult to do, and then style it into the wigs, into the style. Style the wig into the style that it needs. You know what I mean. All right, then we've got her ears. So her ears are so cute. And for the ears, I would do those out of fur. You can get pink fur, but honestly, I'd probably get like a cream fur because it's a bit of an ombre dye out. And once again, you can ombre that fur. Once again, if you're using a synthetic fur, which most of the time it is, then you can certainly use a synthetic dye to make that happen. And then we've also got these stars. So I'll come back to the stars because I want those to match the other stars on her outfit. So let's, as always, then go to the bottom and work our way up. So here we have her shoes. Aren't they so cute? So for the shoes, what's important here is that you have the base. And what I would say the base is this part here, not necessarily the straps. If you could find one with the straps exactly like that, fabulous. But honestly, I'd just be finding a pink high heel pump that has a pointed toe, and then you can make the strapping yourself. So get the pink high heel pump, okay, and then you make the strapping yourself. And to do that, you could just use the same fabric that you're going to use in the bodice, or the strapping sections in the bodice, which we'll get to, and just create that shape. And then for the same fur that you've used up in the ears, you can use that and create a fur cuff, okay? And they're like a very soft pink, so once again, dye bath very quickly, synthetic, nice and easy. And honestly, for this, make your life easy. Put like the back of the fur with like a Velcro or some sort of like snap, press stud, that sort of thing. Or, you know, even do it on elastic. You could really do that cuff as like a scrunchie almost. You don't have to make it complicated. It is not connected to the heel. So do what makes life easy for you. The star, once again, we're going to come back to that. I promise. When we talk about the skirt, we'll come back to it. Let's talk about this overskirt now. So this is beautiful. It's full. And honestly, to me, this just looks like a number of layers of different tulle, different pinks. I see at least 3 different colors of pink. So we've got like a kind of cotton pink in the back, like as your like base layer. If you wanted to, so the tulle doesn't scratch up your legs, you could do this one in like a lining. So just a very lightweight lining, like your Bem silk or something like that, if you so wish. It's completely up to you. Otherwise, if you're okay with having some soft tulle, well, if you don't use lining, get a soft tulle as your base. And so do 1 or 2 layers in this kind of candy pink. So we've got candy pink base. Then we've got the dusky pink. So dusty pink or dusky pink. I don't know, I call it both. And then the top layer is a very light pink, okay? And for this one, I got so excited when I saw this. It's got like, it looks like little glitter marks all over it. Now there's a few ways that you could do this. You could just use glitter tulle. It's a wonderful tulle product, quite soft, and it's got glitter through it, which would be a nice, easy way of approaching this. Otherwise, you could always go through and put rhinestones all over the top, if you want to be extra. So yes, there's a few different options there that you can do there. And this would be honestly cut out like a circle skirt. It's very full, it's very flowy because it's going to be tulle. You are going to have a lot of volume at the base as well. So yeah, it's all very straight. There's no like extra ruffles or anything like that. Pretty straightforward. For the underskirt, okay, this is where it gets interesting, and I had to rack my brain for this one, but I think I figured out how I would do it. The first thing would be, I would have a dark mid kind of pink lining, okay? And this could be Bem silk, it could be cotton, it could be satin, it really doesn't matter, because over the top of that, I would have 2 to 3 layers of a light pink organza, okay? And I would have them stacked on each other. And the reason being is on each of the layers of organza, I would put these stars, because you see that the stars are kind of stacked on top of each other. Now, probably I'd only do 2 layers because 3 layers, you're starting getting a bit bulky, but 2 layers would work fine. Just if you want to be extra, do 3. And how I would do the stars would be either, so stars would either be foil or heat transfer, okay? Heat transfer vinyl, all right? Nice and easy. If you do the heat transfer vinyl, make sure you get the ones that are the soft heat transfer vinyl, so that it's going to move with the fabric. You don't want to get the heat transfer vinyl that you use for like cards. The ones that are designed for fabric, and especially like the lightweight ones. That way you're going to get these beautiful shining kind of images, shining stars that is going to come through the organza. And because they're on the individual organza layers, they're going to come through kind of on top of each other like the image shows. So very happy about that. If you wanted to, you could do sequin stars or whatever, but I think that would look way too heavy. I think foil or heat transfer vinyl would be the way to go, and stacking that onto organza layers. The bodice is super cute. So what it is it's a beautifully kind of cinched in bodice. It looks like it has like little straps like this that goes into a sweetheart and then comes up like that underneath it. which I really love. And you've got the center point that comes up there, and that one comes up there, and then that one comes up there. So, you know, you definitely can play around with it, you know. Anyway, I'm just drawing lines at this point. But what you have is you've got a gorgeous kind of bodice pattern. You could do this in a few different ways. It, you know, where the lines are looks to be like where maybe the seam lines would be. So you've got, here's the side of the bodice, here's the front of the bodice, and then there's just extra detailing here. And you've got straps. So I always love making my cosplays with straps where possible, because it just means that I feel more secured. And I can wear a normal bra, which is always so much fun than wearing a really weird bra with your cosplays. If you know, you know. And then over the top of this, I would just do this detailing with something like bias binding, because that way it wraps around the curves. So if you do bias binding up here, I'd do the bias binding down here as well, just so that it's matching. And for this is just a peplum. It looks like it's a very full peplum, probably some sort of circle skirt based peplum. I keep coming back to circle skirts because I do believe that it's in so many different designs and design choices that I love it. For the top here, we've got some more glitter tulle, I would say, or if you want to get some shimmer, like organza or even like chiffon. So that's another option that you can use for the skirt as well, is like a iridescent chiffon that will work just beautifully as well, if you can find it in that pink white kind of mix. But whatever you use for that skirt, I would use for this kind of poncho sort of situation up here as well. And of course, we've got the fur on the bottom as well. So the same color dye that you do for this, do that. And this is all connected, gathered up and connected at the neckband, which is the same fabric as the top. And you would have some either foil or heat transfer vinyl stars that would need to be put onto like an interface backing, so that they're a little bit sturdier than what you would want them on the skirt. And those kind of the same way that you do that, you do it for the hair accessories as well. And her makeup's really cute as well. It's a lot of pinks and a lot of glitter, and I just think that's beautiful. But yes, so that is how I would do Enid. Quite a straightforward cosplay. I adore her. Let's move on to the more complicated one, which is Wednesday. So Wednesday and thing, okay? Important. So Wednesday, the wig is probably the easiest part. You have got the normal fringe with the plaits. Super cute, super easy. Not too difficult to do. You may want to get a ponytail wig, but because she's got the beret on there, even if you use a straight wig, you're not going to see that part in the back of the hair, so that's good. So we've got a normal black wig, okay, and we've got those styled into the plaits, and then we've got the beret. Is that how you spell beret? I'm not sure. So black beret, there's lots of patterns, I believe, online that you can use to base that off. And then it does look like it's got some sort of ribbon in the back here. The same sort of ribbon that would be used in this kind of tie edge of coat detail thing. We'll come back to that. And then the earrings, I'm not quite sure what these earrings are. They look like they're locks, which is cool. I would say see if you can buy something that looks similar. I'm sure that there are fake kind of there are fake lock earrings that are out there, but if not, maybe make sure if you can't find them, what I would say is try and find something that you can sculpt out of foam clay, and then from there it just means that they're going to be light on your ears when you connect them to an earring. The last thing that you want as a cosplayer is to have anything heavy hanging off your ears or off like a very certain part of your body that doesn't normally have strain. Just don't do that to yourself. So maybe foam if you can't find that design. All right, once again, let's start towards the bottom here and let's talk about her shoes. Once again, the shoes are probably going to be easier to find than the rest. So these are just platform Mary Janes. I am pretty sure that you're going to be able to find something like this online, like AliExpress or something. It's probably going to be all black. It'd be interesting if you could find something that's white, but if you can't, there is nothing wrong with painting either the sole or getting something that's all white and then painting the leather black. It's all good. And once again, we've got some stay up white socks. So white socks. And that's about all that is going to be easy for this cosplay. So let's now move on to the mini skirt here. So we've got a black mini skirt, pencil skirt. So pencil skirt, okay. And then we've got a whole lot of silver detailing. So I have a feeling that this is like a bat or it's a dragon underneath this drape. I'm not quite sure. Use your imagination. And for this one, honestly, depends how much you hate yourself. You could draw something up with, with foil and put that over, or you could do it all embroidery if you wanted to, or you could do individual parts to it, and do like beading or something crazy like that. For me, if I was doing it, I would probably end up doing some sort of stacked heat transfer vinyl on this, especially if I was partnering with an Enid, so that the skirts, like the bottoms, the underskirts are both the same and complement each other as like a pairing. So I mean, for this I might do a heat transfer vinyl and layer it on top of each other. Otherwise I would do it as fabric and do it with satin stitching to get in the details for that, and then finish it off with a very clean bias binding that I would need to make from like a silver fabric, and I'd use the same silver fabric that I was using for the design itself. Okay, we're good? We're good. Let's move on to the overdress. So the overskirt, should I say. So we've got a very full kind of circle skirt base, maybe a little bit more full than just a single circle skirt that is then cut like if it's cut in the center, you've cut it with a smaller waist circumference than yourself, so that way it finishes kind of at the front of your hips, and then it's cut from high to low, so you've got a high-low. Then what you do is it's an ombre dye, because it's Sunset Dragon and she loves her ombre dyes, so you've got this kind of grey to white, grey to black ombre dye. And then you also have got these bats. Now, how I would do this is that I would create a stencil of the bats, and I would spray that with an airbrush and use fabric paints or dyes to create the bat image. And I would do that all over. I would probably do about 3 different size stencils because they are bigger on the bottom. As you work up, they get smaller. And I would do that all on this, and that would connect right up to the waist. So this skirt and this skirt would be connected, and it would be connected at the waist, and that would be underneath the jacket, which we're about to move on to. So the jacket, the asymmetrical jacket, because that's fun. For this, I would need to draft this out. Like, it's so different to anything I've ever created before. You've got these beautiful puff sleeves, but then they continue into these long fitted sleeves. So it's kind of like, sort of like a Lego muffin sleeve, but it's more of a case of like a puff and then a straight sleeve. But there's no seam line here, which is very confusing to me. because you can't just have like straight lines on a puff sleeve that then goes into a fitted sleeve unless you pattern it out so that you've got a large puff and then it needs to come in, and then you would hand stencil in with like an airbrush the lines. That seems very stressful to me. But that is a way that you could do it. Otherwise, the other way that you could do it is put a seam there. You know, if you love your sanity, put a seam there and then do the long sleeve and yeah, bring that down. I think that would probably be easier, but and also it would be easier to create the volume of the sleeve, because you could have a straight sleeve here, like have the straight sleeve going all the way through, and then the puff sleeve over the top connecting down means that you can fill this section with tontine or tulle or something like that, and that would work quite nicely. As for the shape of that, you would need to do the asymmetrical. I'd first do the mock-up as like the full length and then cut it away so it's short on this side, goes down on an angle to around here, and then comes up again. The tie is very interesting. So to me, I would do this as a bit of a fake kind of tie. I would have a case of the gradient dye in this kind of chamouse, I would say, like some sort of chamouse or chiffon or crepe. Crepe would be nice. I would do it so that the ends are the dark grey, and it would be like a light grey to start off with. It would be this kind of colouring that you would do. Ombre it. So you would have this side and this side all connected, but then you do another like section, a second section, which is the tie, which goes over the top, and then that is connected to this long piece here. And that way it looks like it's the three pieces are all joining together and they're all meant to be part of like this one crazy tie thing, but realistically the two that are on the jacket are separate pieces to the tie in the center. The collar is wow. The collar is just wow. You have this collar, which is high necked, with 3 buttons. Oh my gosh. And then you've got some lace underneath it. And then you've got this very long, like, is it like a pilgrim collar? Is that what it's called? I don't know, I'm Australian. Which is in white, and then you've got the embroidery on it. The embroidery would be absolutely stunning, I think. I wouldn't do it as lace, I would do it as embroidery. A bit of hand embroidery always goes a long way, and you could do a really lovely design. I'm not quite sure what it would be. I would say it would be a motif very similar to what's on the skirt here. And yeah, that would be that. And keep in mind, make sure you have enough chamouse to make a little bow in the back. Now, the last thing that we should talk about is thing, right? So for thing, I would probably end up seeing if I could find a 3D, a 3D model that I could just print out, and because it's got to exist, right? If not, I would get like just a hand, like a toy hand that comes out every Halloween. Connect it with a cuff. Either I'd make the cuff or I'd find one. They're quite easy to find online if you wanted to. And then put a plastic chain. Always use plastic chains in cosplay rather than metal chains if you love yourself. And connect that through and create a little cuff for myself as well. And that is how I would do Wednesday. So there you go. I didn't do heaps of marking out. I've just kind of talked through it today. Hope you don't mind. Tell me, what do you like? Which one do you like more? Do you like Enid or do you like Wednesday? Because they both have different audiences, different appeals. For me, okay, let's be real here. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Would these cosplays break me down? If I was doing Wednesday, yes. Absolutely. I don't think that I could do Wednesday and get to the end of the project because I don't really connect with the character, and the design is just very much not the silhouette that I personally like, and it's a little bit too chaotic for my liking. But I would love to see someone tackle this one. Enid is much more my style. I love her. I love her character. I love that she's pink. Like, yeah, let's be honest, black and white, not really my palette. Pink, absolutely. So Enid, I love, and I don't think she's that complicated to make. So I would make Enid out of the two of them. If there was ever an opportunity that I was to make Enid, this would probably be a design right at the top of my list. But yeah, I mean, I think they're both beautiful, beautiful designs, and I would love to see how people would create them. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching that. I hope that you enjoyed that. In the comments below, tell me what cosplay you would like me to break down, and I will see you all next Wednesday for the next Wednesday breakdown of cosplay. Breakdown Wednesday. That's what I'm calling it. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and my regular videos will be out on Saturday. See you then. Bye!